You know how the media does this thing, Tim, where they float a trial balloon and they have their little handlers behind them, but they use the NBC label to say, like, just asking questions. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Well, NBC is the most recent patsy for Everytown for gun safety targeting the gun world on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's a, quote, cesspool, Tim.
Yes.
Cesspool. They said it. Well, here's number 7. A popular gun influencer conspired to illegally import machine guns. He still has a home on YouTube. Gun influencer Larry Vickers faces possible prison time after he pleaded guilty to a conspiracy to import machine guns. Online, his star hasn't fallen. Oh, they do not like his star, Tim.
Yeah. I forget his name, but there's a guy I see pop up in my shorts all the time. Boy, that came out wrong. Anyway.
No, I love it. We're keeping that in there.
My video shorts. Yeah. Anyway, so that's got to be hard to recover from. Anyway, so this guy is a convicted felon.
Just think of Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah. Right. This guy's a convicted felon. He makes great videos and he talks about what it's like in prison. Right. And he's on YouTube. He's a convicted felon. Are they saying, that felons should not have access to YouTube? Are we just going to kick everybody off that's ever been convicted of a crime? I don't understand. Oh, it's just gun people. My bad. I'm sorry.
No, but you bring up a very interesting point. Genuinely, is NBC saying now that because of a conviction or a basically admission of guilt?
Yeah, I think he pled guilty.
He did.
Yeah.
Then you're not allowed to have First Amendment anymore either, huh? Okay, well, let's dive in. Let me show you. I'm sure there's something else here, Tim. This is number 8. Larry Vickers, a popular creator of YouTube gun videos, may get a prison sentence after he pleaded guilty in October to 2 federal crimes, including a conspiracy to import illegal machine guns. But here comes the part. This is a little bit of Trumpy vibes here. But his admissions of guilt have done relatively little to dent his profile on YouTube, Facebook, or any of the other internet platforms that helped make Vickers famous within the online gun community. He's still posting updates to his fan base of 415,000 followers on Facebook while he awaits sentencing, and the hundreds of videos featuring him using various machine guns are still available on YouTube. Oh. So you can see the angle we're going, right?
Yeah.
He's been convicted of crimes. How can he still be on YouTube with guns?
Right. And the videos they're talking about, literally no laws are being broken in the videos. He's just doing what any, content creator would do, creating content. So.
Correct.
Yeah.
But the interesting part here?
Mm-hmm. What?
They go after the idea that he's making illicit gun videos on the internet. And Tim, just as well as I do, and maybe we can bring the people in for a second onto YouTube.
Yeah.
You do not mess these rules up. Like, if you violate the rules around firearms on what they've got written, clad in the user agreements, you ain't gonna have a channel, boo.
Nope.
I mean,
You're gone.
You'll be gone before you wake up in the morning.
Yeah. And here's another thing. It's like, since all this came down, yes, I've seen Larry post on Facebook and other places, but you know what he's not posting? Pictures or videos of him with firearms in his hands. Because if he is if he's admitted to a felony, I don't know if he's being convicted. If he admitted to a felony, if he's being if the felony is going to stick and take his gun rights away, I don't know any of that. Haven't dove into the case that far, but let's just assume that he is now a prohibited person. I've not seen Larry do anything except talk about his books and talk about old things that he used to. Like, he used to be a 1911 manufacturer. People clamor for his old 1911s. I've seen him talk about that. But what I've not seen him do is post any new videos or posts where he's actually holding a firearm. But yet they're making mountains out of molehills here, writing an article about he still has a presence. We're worried about the videos he made 10 years ago. We gotta delete him. He must be erased.
Tim, you just made a mistake, and I'm going to call you on a prepare to be called.
Okay.
All right, Tim. So you are assuming that the entire evidence that they're putting forward right here in this article is to focus on Larry Vickers.
Oh, they want us all gone.
Yes. Oh. You have to look at the broader message. Here's number 10 and the payoff right here. This is how guys, if you're researching these, this is how something's about to change on you. As of a few days ago, YouTube was still running pre-roll advertisements on his videos, according to reviews by NBC News. On Friday, after questions from NBC News, YouTube said in a statement that it has suspended Vickers' YouTube channel from its paid partner program, meaning they could no longer make money on the platform. YouTube cited a policy requiring paid creators to remain responsible online and offline and avoid behavior that harms others. To YouTube's credit, they even said it was rare, but that's where they're going on this, right?
Yeah.
If you're looking for media and you want to see where the left is going to go, they're always going to put a case in front of you. Then they're going to say, and since that case existed, YouTube is still making money from it. Right there is the transition point, because now what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to trigger another adpocalypse to hurt YouTube creators across the board.
This isn't the first time the media has done this, by the way, folks. Several years ago, we got notification from some folks within the industry that they were contacted by Trace Magazine, which is, a gun grabbing magazine owned by gun grabbers. And Trace was writing an article about prominent YouTubers, and the Military Arms channel, my channel, Mr. Guns and Gear, and several others came up, and they were inquiring about us, and they're working with us. And all they were basing this on was the fact that we had appeared in videos with their products. I hadn't worked with the companies they were contacting, worked with. People say, oh, you're a paid shill. This company paid you for this review. That happens so rarely in the internet gun world. I mean, sure, it does happen, especially with super big creators. But what the people we were being contacted by, I literally had no point of contact there. And this was the same for other creators. But it was all in an effort to try to apply pressure to YouTube to demonetize us. Right. So they were writing this article and reaching out to all these, and they were saying to these companies, did you know that Mac was supporting J6? Show me the video where I said anything about J6. I never made one post about it. Never one video. But this is how they're trying to influence the gun industry, thinking that there was some financial connection between us and these various manufacturers. They thought they could step in the middle of it and say, did you know that these creators support insurrection? And by the way, YouTube, did you know that this was going on? And trying to shut down both the YouTube monetization and trying to sever any ties creators might have to any type of source of income. And this has all been done before. And we went out there and preemptively made videos saying, hey, Trace is getting ready to do this. And a bunch of us made videos like shorts and stuff like that. And Trace just trashed the whole article because they got beat up for it because we called them on it. But anyway, sorry.
Which is awesome. No, that was excellent. And what I was about to say was this article, I didn't pull the clip for this, but they actually do the exact same thing to Vickers in here because he uses AKs for some videos. Mm-hmm. So they're saying that he's supporting AKs, like a Kalashnikov.
Yeah.
Right. Because they do the exact same thing.
Because he went to Russia and he did. And look, there's some ties there. Right. I only know I have a 30,000 foot view of this whole story with regards to Larry and the stuff he faces, the legal challenges he faces. But, the accusations were that he was working with the Russians to get AKs that were banned because of, our country decided to put restrictions on Russian imports. Right. And firearms were among those. And they're saying, well, Larry went over there. He worked with the Russians. Nobody's ever had a factory tour, which I think actually may be true. And he got a factory tour. And then he came back and he got involved with an American company that's actually a proxy for the Russian company. And this is where all this is going. Right. So,
yeah, it's very convoluted.
Right.
Well, turns out, Tim, that we're on the radar. Check this out. YouTube is the most used social media app in the US and has a large gun culture featuring people sometimes known as gunfluencers. Social media stars and would-be stars who promote firearms and gun accessories, often in partnership with gun manufacturers. Hey, Tim, just quick question for you. What would happen to you if you had a paid promotion for firearms and gun accessories on one of your videos in partnership with gun manufacturers?
Well, you'd have to mark it. Right. It contains a paid promotion. I mean, what are you asking? I'm sorry.
What would be the consequences if you had links and you were basically offering and promoting firearms on your videos?
You would get banned from YouTube because what that means is if you go out there and say, hey, here's this cool new gun and there's a link in the video description below, follow that link and pick one up. That's a violation of their rules.
Don't host. And it's one violation and you're done. That is not something where it's like, oh, have you done it 400 times? Let's do a full review.
Right.
No, that the algorithm picks you out on that one. People don't even do it. It is literally the algorithm goes, haha, nope, not today.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that they don't know how it works, but
No.
let me show you who's behind the curtain. Are you ready to see the monster behind the curtain?
Yep.
You would never see this. You would never see this. I'm going to read you 2 clips here. One, tell me this isn't political. This is 13. YouTube has faced criticism for years over its handling of gun videos. In 2022, 5 Democratic senators sent a letter to YouTube demanding to know why it wasn't fully enforcing its ban on instructional videos for making firearms after an NBC News investigation found out. And so we got some Democrat thumbprints on this, and boom, bing, the payoff, number 14. Everytown for Gun Safety, an advocacy group who opposes gun violence, called on YouTube to enforce its own policies against Vickers and other creators of gun content. Quote, YouTube is a cesspool of violent and irresponsible gun content. Justin Wagner, Senior Director of Investigations at Everytown, said in a statement to NBC News.
They got their own investigative
So what's more
unit.
concerning? Boom, you just found it right there. So they have their own investigations unit at Everytown. I wonder if I get my own rep, or if you have your own rep, or if it's just like we're kind of like shared in a pool of communism grossness.
Yeah, that's
what
awesome.
What do you think it is?
And the other thing I think is interesting, their choice of words are just, gosh, it's they must set up agonizing over how to structure sentences and stuff so they can get the most propaganda into a single sentence. So Everytown for Gun Safety, an advocacy group that opposes gun violence, because the 2A community supports gun violence. We love it. That's all we want. Yeah. It's just like an advocacy group that opposes gun violence. No, they want gun bans. Has nothing to do with violence. It has everything to do with just banning inanimate objects. My goodness.
Correct.
I mean, yeah, it's just, it's so, you just want to take a shower after reading an NBC article or anything like that, because it's so slathered with propaganda and careful choices of words to try to elicit emotional responses and to misdirect people into whatever the agenda is that they're trying to promote. That's crazy, man.
That's exactly right. This entire thing, I think this article may have been better if we had just gone ahead and put road signs in there. Just like, turn left here, turn lefter here.
Yeah,
don't look straight, turn left again.
It's like, like in the old studio days when they had the applause light, for the live audiences. It's like, be outraged now. Be outraged now.
Cue the outrage.
Outrage. Yeah. It's like,
oh, it's so good.
Oh my goodness.
It's so good. But yeah, so it turns out that we have our own reps at Director of Investigations, and we have an entire hierarchy inside Everytown that does opposition research on gunfluencers.
I'm glad.
Crazy, dude.
I'm glad I can get this old Justin guy, a good paying job, I'm sure, so he can investigate us and talk about all the irresponsible. Senior. And that's what's so funny. Like, if you take a look at a lot of, now, sure, there are millions of creators on YouTube. I have no idea. I only follow a smidgen of the 2A gun creator accounts that are out there. But what I will say, like, if you take a look at the content that I produce, which I know obviously the best, I don't cuss in videos. I try to make it family friendly, right? So I don't show unsafe handling. I don't show anything that would violate YouTube's rules, but also would come under this description that they've made here of a cesspool of violent, irresponsible gun content. It's like, no, that's not what I see out there at all. Now, are there people out there that might do that? Yeah, I've seen some pretty stupid videos of people brandishing firearms, like, videos of kids pulling out Glocks with switches and stuff like that. I've seen some of that, but those are like shorts, and those aren't your influencers. Those are just random people posting stuff. You know what I mean? Can you think of
Oh, I absolutely know.
Influencer, like somebody that actually has a following out there being irresponsible? They wouldn't have a channel.
Well, no, that's the big thing, and that's why it's so fascinating. They clearly don't know anything about the YouTube gunfluencer community that they're so eager to destroy, because, again, to your point, if someone were being irresponsible with firearms on videos, that audience would not exist, because the audience that we cater to, the one that is our core constituency, they don't respond well to unsafe use of firearms. They don't respond well to stupidity. They don't respond well to just overall irresponsibilities, particularly around firearms, because they know that goes against all the safety rules of firearms, and that also will be used against us. It's very easy to avoid it. The only people, to your point, that you're going to see on the internet doing stupid stuff would be the people who do shorts when they film themselves shooting a full auto Glock or something like
Right.
that, which is obviously a violation, and you're just an idiot. But anyway,
Yeah, it's not the gunfluencers they're talking about that actually have a following. There's all sorts of crazy content out there.
Us, though.
Yeah, I mean, there's people out there posting videos of them beating the snot out of each other and just all sorts of stuff and illegal drug usage. You want to see something really gross? I mean, there's actual pornography on YouTube.
Not really.
Actual pornography on YouTube. But it's disguised as informational. But anyway, this is what they're focusing on. GunTubers, gunfluencers.
GunTubers. It's a cesspool. It's evil. You got to get rid of these. Get the bleach.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to show you how Everytown sent their NBC dogs after a director of investigation.
Totally been done before. Yeah.
Absolutely. But we didn't know there was a director of investigations at Everytown. That's a new position.
It is. Now we know.
News.
Right? Yeah.
Now we know.